We will scroll away from websites, I'm told, if they take more than 3 seconds to load. We can't wait any longer. How can I get this item the quickest? Is there a drone that as I press the button, it will drop through my letterbox? We want things instantly, and our expectation is that there's an immediate answer and there's immediate solution. From click consumerism through our expectation of our government, of our health service, of our education system, and we are very, very impatient. Even our expectation from God. Instant answer, instant relief, instant removal of the difficulty, instant removal of the pain. I think our technology and advances, and I've seen quite a few in my lifetime, are wonderful. But we must be aware how the consumerism of our culture feeds on, drives, and even rewards our impatience. We need to think what life around us is making us like. Western culture is the least able to produce patience. Paul Brand, he's an American surgeon who's done a lot of relief work over the world and seen much suffering, observed this. People in technologically advanced societies live at a greater comfort level, but seem far less equipped to handle suffering and are far more traumatized by suffering when it comes. And I think if we were honest, we'd agree that that's true. Wanting the instant is doing us damage. We're not building resilience into ourselves when difficulties come along. And that can result in increasing levels of anxiety, of fear, of depression, all forms of suffering. If you think about it, the things in life that really matter take quite a lot of patience. Relationships, building skills, building competencies, growing in understanding, growing in our character. That all takes quite a long time, and we have to be patient in it. And patience is a fruit of the Spirit. And we know that there's always a conflict between our flesh, what we want to do, and the work of the Holy Spirit. So the command to be patient, because it's in the Bible and because patience is a fruit of the Spirit, shows that it's actually difficult. That only by the Spirit moving within us and changing us can we be patient. So yes, it's difficult, but because it's a fruit of the Spirit, it's also possible. So we have to live that we can be patient, we can grow in patience and perseverance, because we will face bigger challenges than the supermarket queue or logging on to our systems. Earlier this year, I smashed my shoulder and had to wait a couple of weeks for a completely new shoulder to be put in. It was impossible to move, the pain was excruciating at some times, and I lost all my independence. It was very difficult, and this required a different level of patience. It required patience in pain, it required patience in being incapacitated and isolated, and it required patience in fear. How long will it last? Would there actually be an end to it? Could they make it better? That's small in comparison with some of the things that you might go through. Small in comparison with what goes on in the rest of our country, and minuscule in what goes on in some parts of the world. But it was a time of distress where I needed a lot of patience. Many months later, I am feeling much better and getting there. But it has taken patience and perseverance and an awful lot of obedience to a lovely but very uncompromising physiotherapist. It feels that it's taken a long time. And I'm reminded of the title of a book by Eugene Peterson, which was written actually about 40 years ago. And it's called A Long Obedience in the Same Direction, Discipleship in an Instant Society. I love the image that those words evoke, just the title alone. A long obedience in the same direction, the long learning process that those of us who follow Jesus are engaged in. I've got a few more years than most of you on my clock, and I just would encourage you to take that walk of long obedience in one direction, in the same direction. And I encourage you, because it's the best walk you'll ever take, but I'll also say to you that you will encounter suffering on the way. You will encounter suffering on the way, because that is part of the long walk of obedience.